Hello guys, I'm back with the third part of the compounding trader series in which I will tackle the addition of the overnight ranges and the weekend price action ranges and what exactly do they mean and how exactly do I use them. So starting with the overnight range, this is basically a range where I should not take any kind of trades. It is usually ranging from the first candle from 2 a.m. where the market starts up to the finish of the second 4-hour candle at around 10 a.m. my time. So um, the way I use the overnight range is basically keeping it as a zone where as a black box where I shouldn't take any trades and where both of the extremities are taken as confluences. So let me explain how this works. For example, from last night we had a high put at 2 a.m. which was around 89.6k, and we had at 4 a.m. a low that was around 87.8k. This means that this is creating a range for a cumulative of 8 hours where I will not take a trade, and I will obviously, if I'm waking up earlier into the day, I will check the price action and just wait and see what exactly happens out of this range if I'm obviously not in a trade. So this is the overnight range, just 2 4-hour candles starting from the market open up until the morning in European time zone. This is basically a price action that I am not trading and a price action that I'm just not there. Okay, so it means that I'm either asleep or I'm just not actively trading it and so on. Moving on to weekend price action range is basically a range that is going from the zone of 2 a.m. on Saturday night. So basically when the trading day starts for Saturday at 2 a.m. and it stops at exactly 2 a.m. on Monday when the first overnight of the week starts. So we are moving from 2 a.m. on Saturday to 2 a.m. on Monday. This is exactly 2 days, and I'm calling this weekend price action. This has the exact same ability that overnight range has. So basically, you have a weekend price action high, a weekend price action low that you can take as confluences or as compound zones. I would like to expand on both of these ranges, and explain the fact that I like to see what exactly happens at the high and the low of both of these ranges. So for example, let's take for example last week. For example, last week we didn't even break weekend price action high, right? So we had last week we had the weekend before the price action started for last week, we had a weekend price action move from a 90.6k up until 87.6k, and you can see that this wasn't broken at all, even though we had these big weeks, these big moves up to the from the short squeezes that we had last week from the ranging price action, right? So then you can think about it like this. Okay, I'm taking a short, and after I'm taking the short, I know that the weekend price action high will not be taken, or I would say, okay, I am taking the short with the stop loss outside of the weekend price action high. So this is basically actively using the weekend price action high in order to see exactly where I would like to have my trade invalidated. Because at this point, if you would have taken the weekend price action high here, the chances are that you probably would have went higher up until 92, 94, and so on. And then this is one way to use highs and lows of ranges. Then obviously you can see it here. Last week we had the overnight range for Monday. So we had overnight high. We actually started moving down from Monday, from the overnight range. We didn't even touch the overnight high. So it's basically the exact same thing that happened with the price action high from the weekend. And so we have overnight high here not being taken out. And basically this is a big move to the downside. You can think about it like this. Let's say you're on a Monday. Let's say we're today on a Monday and we see that the overnight high is being broken. So at this point you have two options. You either think about it like a continuation day where you will have a move out the overnight high and a continuation to the upside, so maybe to the 94K zone and 92, 91, I don't know. Or you could think about it as, okay, we took the overnight high range, we still are in a downside market structure. So you can think about it like this. I think that after taking the overnight high, we're maybe hovering too much under 91K zone, and maybe we can see a move to the downside where we would have the overnight low then taken out, or maybe even the weekend price action low. Okay, so let's give an example of a trade that would probably commence out of the weekend price action and the overnight range. So for example, let's say you're not in any trade right now and you would like to go into a trade. Okay, at this point I would probably look at some price action zones that would make sense in order to take a long, okay, or a short. To be honest, I would probably like to take a long today, and I thought about it like this. I have the weekend price action low around 87.5K, and I have the overnight range low around 87.8K. Okay, so at this point I have 87.8, 87.5, and I could probably look at a trade or at a trade entry at around here, right? So let's say that I'm looking at a long trade under the overnight low and the weekend price action low. Okay, so at this point I'm thinking like this. I have a market structure locally that is bullish, and it started from the 84K low that is looking like a weak low, right? So starting from this, I would say that maybe a lot of people would think that we would reach lower before we can actually go higher. To be honest, I'm not completely sure about this. I think that it is very easy for people to be left behind, especially since this is a low volume market. Okay, so this is a low volume market. I would think that we can probably hold a local market structure in order to actually start moving higher. So I'm thinking about it like this. I have this range at the bottom. Okay, so I have this range starting from the move down at around 107K down to wherever we are today at around 80s, right? High 80s, low 90s. And I have the point of control starting exactly at 86.7K. We have had a move down to this point of control on Friday, and it actually backtested properly, and it started moving higher from here. So now I can think about it like this. I have taken the overnight high out of the equation. I have taken the weekend price action high even before the overnight range has stopped. And so I'm left with the conclusion that we can actually start moving either higher from here and have a continuation day to the upside, or I can maybe fish for a long downside of this weekend price action low and overnight low. And then I can think about it like this. I will have a market structure that is being respected. The point of control has already been tested. The move started from somewhere that not many people have taken the trades of long trades in this market. I have the test of 90 to 91K zone quite a few times, and the more you test this zone, the bigger the chances are that you can move higher. And you have basically, let's say, a ranging downside movement for quite so long, which means that there are a lot of volumes that are fighting each other, and so there should be a decent move starting soon. And so in my opinion, this would be a good long. In my opinion, this is a valid long. Let's just add something from the last videos that we have went through together, which were the ideas that I would like to enter the market with. So it's either A, B, or C, or it can be the one that we talked about on entry, which we already discussed right now, where I would take the entry under the weekend price action low and overnight range is low. And so I would like to probably have an idea here at 87K, where I would have a stop loss under the 84K range, okay, 84K low. So let's just make it visual. I don't really like to do this, but let's just make it visual. So let's say here you have the stop loss here, and you'll probably have something around, I don't know, 86k, 18, I don't know, something. I don't know where this would go to, okay? So maybe it will only go to 92k. I have no idea, okay? So this doesn't matter. But that's how it would visually look like. And so this would be probably, in my opinion, either A type trade or B type trade. But I think honestly, I would probably take it as a B type trade. It would be for like 1 week or so, because I think that Christmas time we will not have that much volume. And I think this is really important to know that when there is not much volume in the market, you should probably be more conservative with your trades. So let's say I'm taking my long here, I'm taking my stop loss here, and then I would like to have it as a B trade. And if I have 87 with 84, that's around $3,000, so 3k stop loss, right? So it's a 3k stop loss. At this point, you're having a B-type idea on 3k stop loss. This would mean around 0.6% once more, right? So this is a 0. Oh, sorry, not this. So this is a 0.6% that you are risking on this trade. So you have a 0.6% risk on this trade. You are actually taking a long trade, you're expecting the continuation range, and so you're basically using the overnight ranges and the weekend price action range in order to make sense of this market and price action for entering a trade. Okay, that is great. Let's say you're entering the trade here. Okay, so you have your, where is it? Let's just say that you're entering your trade here. Let's start deleting all of these, right? I want to delete all of these. I have my stop loss there. I'll leave the 0.6% just for fun. So I have the 0.6% risk. Okay. Let's say that I have my buy one, and these B's that I'm doing are so bad. I have my buy one. What is this? I have my buy one here. Okay. So this is buy one. Then I would probably look to compound, in case we go higher, right? So where would I compound if I have my B1 here? Honestly, I would think at compounding once we go over the overnight high, okay? So if we go higher from here, I don't want to take my profits at 89.6 or whatever. That makes no sense. So when we will get back here, this is probably going to be a B2, right? So this is going to be a B2. This is my second trade in this idea, and this is a compound of B1. Where would I put my stop loss of B2? Obviously, it's under B1, right? Because if we drop under B1, we can actually start breaking down and losing our market structure. So this would be stop loss 2, right? So you can already see how exactly I used overnight ranges and weekend price action ranges. You can see that I have a trade that I have entered as B1 under overnight low and weekend price action low. And then I actually am looking to compound when I'm going out of the overnight range high once again. And so this is how I'm using these ranges. This is how I'm gauging the market on these ranges. And it's not very hard, but it takes a lot of practice, okay? I'm of the conclusion that discrepancy is probably the best way to trade if you are experienced, but I think that discrepancy in of itself takes too much emotion and too much focus, and I think this cannot just happen 24/7. And so in order to help yourself in this profession, I think that you have to have a systematic approach to the market that actually involves discrepancy as well. This is my systematic approach where I'm using these ranges that I have created for myself. It's nothing special, right? It's just some black boxes that I have put over the chart at specific times. And so I have these ranges. This is adding to my discrepancy style of trading. and it's basically my basal system, my systematic approach to the market, on which I'm using my my discretionary ideas. Okay, and so yeah, this is pretty much it. This is what overnight ranges are. This is what weekend price action ranges are. This is how I use them. And this was the third video of the series Compounded Trader. I will wish you a warm Merry Christmas, and spend time with your family. It's extremely important. And hopefully I'll see you in the next video, and hopefully we will start the year 2026 together in this journey, and hopefully I can bring value to you, because if I bring value to people, it also brings joy and value to me. So have a great week. Enjoy it with your family or with your loved ones, and take care. Bye.